before I start talking about what they're talking about, I'm going to show you what I've been doing. I've been putting a regular AM radio on, off a station, and keeping it on. And this static cancels out their static. So they kept talking about hydrodyning, but it kind of messes them up. So they threatened me today. They said if I expose this, they'll try another technique, which is what I'm saying. Like, if their techniques aren't effective against old technology, then this wasn't how it was always done. Now, you hear that? Some of it's from the cell phone, and some of it's from them. I have this away from the cell phone. So I'm going to leave this on so that you guys can hear the changes. So there's a station that just came in. What happens is during the time it's on, it starts to change when they sometimes it sounds like, you know how when you have a computer, sometimes it sounds like that kind of computer, sometimes it sounds like a radio station. So I'm going to leave this on. You heard how that just changed? Once a woman started talking and saying old dial up. And when she did that, it started to change. So however she's talking to me, it changed when she said old dial up. And here's the radio. So I'm going to leave this on, and I'll leave it so you guys can hear it, so that when they start to talk, you'll hear it. I hope you guys can hear me over it. So anyway, let me tell you what they're talking about. They said, I've never had a coalition strong enough to defeat them. I'm telling you, this is run by very powerful people. No one has. They don't individually have it either. The big reason I can answer that is because I know them individually, and individually they've had a lot of issues. They didn't want me to link the people together. Well, there are other people with them. So it's hard for me to say, okay, all of this is one person. No one in this group individually has the amount of power that they have collectively. And that's part of what they're realizing. The stories that they've been gathering through the years aren't good. So when they claim that they were listening to me all along, they said when they come back, meaning there are more powerful people doing this with people who they get, like they used to use the word handler a lot. And I even showed you comments where someone said handler. So the handlers are like the lower level people, the people doing it at the top. So at no point can they claim I was molesting anyone because they were always around. But then they say, oh, we weren't always around. So you can't have it both ways. And that's what they tried to do. The other thing is that they keep talking about my DNA because I have, like most people, they're very offended that I talk about being West Indian American, having West Indian descent, as though it's something new. Everyone knew it. It doesn't make any sense to me now why they claimed it didn't exist. I think what could have happened was when I told you they kept trying to change my race and make me more Latino than Black. West Indians, we identify as Black, so I don't understand why I would be Latino all of a sudden. But then they said, oh, let me put this down because it's a little hard to hold this up and talk to you guys. So then they said, oh, well, you heard that? You heard that change? So when it's close to this, it sounds like this. When it's close to me, this is how it sounds. You heard that? Beep, beep. Okay. So yesterday they were talking about, I was watching a show. Like I love all of those type of shows based on King Arthur. And so they're like, oh, you're the one who was watching Merlin. I used to love Merlin. Oh my goodness. So they lied and said I didn't think the beautiful Black actress was beautiful. She's gorgeous. They also have a whole list of they have a whole list of people that they claim I don't find gorgeous. And that's my point. They said that was part of the personality assessment they got from the college ex-boyfriend. So they said in a video, why did I call him crazy? Because he turned out to be crazy. And that's part of what I'm saying. Like, there is no sane person who would think that words out loud could go directly into any human being's head on a bus, in the street, in a school. I mean, we're talking craziness, but they believe in this type of thing. And I talked to someone else uh about this on in a comment, that I don't believe in gemenita gemenita or whatever that's called, where you add up things. You would be adding up things forever to come up with this thing. If these people are doing things based on adding things up, then that's a different type of personality assessment. And I think it's important that I talk to you about that part of their personality assessment. If they believe that adding up words and certain numbers to arrive at certain dates to commit their crimes, because this is a crime, that's a different personality than just someone who's not committing a crime in general, or committing a crime based on something that happened at that moment. These are people who are calculating. Like, literally, when I call them calculated people, I'm not joking. I'm telling you the truth. It's calculated. So this whole crime is calculated. The other big deal about that is that when we're talking about people who believe in these types of things, which I do not, and they calculate their actions, that goes back to when I say they have an agenda, meaning this isn't a random uh, kind of thing that just happens. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that just happened. No, these people planned this to happen. When I'm going through research, not just my research, but other people's research, and I'm going to put a link to a page that I found online that gave a lot of information. I have a lot of posts about it. I can't remember how to pronounce the name of the website. I think it's Quora, Quora. I don't know. But you guys probably are more familiar. That was another thing. They said they thought I would be interested in what young people are doing. I'm barely interested in what they're doing, let alone anyone else. At this point, I have to be more focused on what I'm doing. Really, like, seriously, I do. Um, they said that I would change my terminology as a joke. When new terminology comes up, a lot of people my age, 50 something, we do get into like saying something just as a joke because it sounds funny to us. But do we now use that as a regular thing? No. Um, I think what they were referring to is they just said, can you guys hear that? A slight change happened when they started to say something. You heard that? You heard that? This is when they're trying to say something. So now I think I'm going to do this when they start to talk. It'll remind me to tell you guys, or you guys will learn to like hear when they start to say something. So anyway, what they were going to say is, I can't remember what they were going to say. Anyway, going back to what I'm saying, meaning they said that I had to be overly nice, but then they admitted I'm not really attractive enough to have to be overly nice. And that's part of this. You know what I mean? Like, part of what they wanted to brainwash me, mind control me, and I did a whole thing on this, is that if you're very attractive, you have to have that little pretty attitude. I want women to ditch that. I want women, we need to go back to being tough. That's this is how when people have an agenda, and I'm going to link a video about distraction scams. A woman is loading groceries into her car. A man comes over and says, excuse me, miss, but you have a flat tire. Did you notice? When she walks around to look at the flat tire, which she doesn't, they steal her purse, meaning they were working together. That's what I'm saying. There's something about these types of people where they pretend to help you, but really what they're doing is making it easier to scam you. They distract you from what you're doing. Oh, here's the sound coming in again. So they then now they lied and said that they were the ones who told me to film with the radio. I had filmed with the radio way before they even got involved. This is what I'm saying. They would have me keep going over my videos. They said that was their agenda, to have me go over my videos. So they would keep coming up with reasons to make that possible. That's my whole point. When you're dealing with people who have an agenda, and the agenda is to distract, to keep me from focusing on my own health and my own situation by focusing on everything else. That's what you have to do. You have to get that tough attitude again. So if I don't have a coalition to help me, that's okay. I'm okay with that. So be it. Thank you for watching.